Chapter 19. Then Job answered and said, How long will you vex my soul, and crush me with words? These 10 times have you reproached me. You are not ashamed that you deal harshly with me. And be it indeed that I have erred, mine error remaineth with myself. If indeed you will magnify yourselves against me, and plead against me my reproach, know now that God hath subverted my cause, and hath compassed me with his net. Behold, I cry out violence, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no justice. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and hath set darkness in my path. He hath stripped me of my glory, and taken the crown from my head. He hath broken me down on every side, and I am gone. And my hope hath he plucked up like a tree. He hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he has counted me unto him as one of his adversaries. His troops come on together, and cast up their way against me, and encamp around about my tent. He hath put my brethren far from me, and mine acquaintance are wholly estranged from me. My kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. They that dwell in my house, and my maids, count me for a stranger. I am become an alien in their sight. I call unto my servant, and he giveth me no answer, though I entreat him with my mouth. My breath is abhorred by my wife, and I am loathsome to the children of my tribe. Even urchins despise me. If I arise, they speak against me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and they whom I love are turned against me. My bone cleaveth to my skin, and my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. Have pity upon me, have pity upon me, O you my friends, for the hand of God hath touched me. Why do you persecute me as God, and you are not satisfied with my flesh? O that my words were now written, O that they were inscribed in a book, that with an iron pen and lead they were engraven in the rock forever. But as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he will witness at the last upon the dust, and when after my skin this is destroyed, then without my flesh I shall see God, whom I, even I, shall see for myself, and mine own eyes shall behold, and not another's. My reins are consumed within me. If you say, How will we persecute him, seeing that the root of the matter is found in me? Be you afraid of this sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that you may know there is a judgment. All right, let's go back up. Verse 1. Now, last chapter, Bildad, the Shuki. Bildad, that confused one. He's confused by the love of wealth is what he's confused of, and all these things to go with that. And Bildad thinks Job's trying to lay some kind of snare for them, but no, Job ain't. Job's trying to tell them that their words are a snare. Their words are a snare, trying to get Job to admit he's done something wrong. Trying to get Job to speak out his sin that possibly he may have committed. They have no understanding. Job hasn't sinned. Job hasn't done nothing wrong. But they found Job there in his what appears to be some form of punishment. It's a little bit of a trial. It's a little tribulation, a little trouble in Job's life. That's all it is. And Job, man, there's too much overreaction to it. And what we'll find is they think it's sin. They think sin's making itself known. They think it's some kind of punishment from God, and they're accusing Job of sinning. They want Job to admit his sin, to speak his sin out, to call it to remembrance. But there is no sin to be called to remembrance. We'll find that Job, he has not sinned. God has kept his way hedged up off his life, and God has been a protector to Job. And this means that God has just kept the trouble and all this away from Job all of his life. The temptations of sin were there, but they hadn't come upon Job. We're going to pick it up here in verse 1, when Job's going to answer Bildad, the confused one. Verse 1, Then Job answered and said, 2, How long will you vex my soul and crush me with words? How long you guys going to sit there and come against me, crushing my soul with these words of condemnation, condemning me for something I ain't even done. And like Job said, you're just poor counselors. You're poor comforters. You're poor comforters. 3, these 10 times have you reproached me, and you're not ashamed that you deal harshly with me. These 10 times have you reproached me. These 10 times have you've come against me. Even though I've told you I haven't done nothing wrong, Job's saying, you've come back against me, and you're not ashamed that you're dealing harshly with me. Job had told them they're dealing harshly. Job had told them that. 10 times, though, and we're going to find out these 10. It's always the law, see, in these things that they've spoken against Job, these 10 times that they've spoken. And be it indeed that I have erred, mine error remaineth with myself. And what Job's saying here is if I have done something wrong, it remains within myself. The only person that needs to know about it is me and God Almighty. See, because that would be who I've trespassed or transgressed against. I would have trespassed against no man. 5, if indeed you will magnify yourselves against me and plead against me my reproach, if indeed you will magnify yourselves against me, you want to stand up and everybody think that you're holier, that you've got more understanding. You want everybody to, you want to magnify yourself or make yourself look bigger or greater concerning me, now concerning this trouble that I've got, and you want to plead against me my reproach, come against me and tell me all this is the judgment of God, that I've done something wrong. 6, know now that God has subverted my cause and hath compassed me with his net. Know now that God has subverted my cause. This word subverted would be more like to be overthrown. God, King James actually says overthrown here, but what this is to, the word is abat, and it means to bend, to make crooked, to distort in some way, and to bend is to change. He's bending. He's going out the way he would usually be is straight, and he's being bent or distorted. He has compassed me with his net. He has compassed me. He has caught me. He has captured me in his net. This is the way we'll find God has the ability to do this, but Satan is the one who is working this. And this is just the adversities of life, we'll find out. 7, behold, I cry out violence, but I'm not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no justice. Behold, I cry out violence, but I'm not heard. This is not heard. I mean, if one man could justify all these things, it would done be done. But there is no justice, we'll find out. This that is in the earth is that which is brought onto it by man, and this is all done by free will. And God says you'll have to make the choice to stop. 8, he hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and hath set darkness in my paths. He hath fenced up my way. He has made it so I can't do nothing. I can't change these things that are going on, these things that are, this is the way the world is. I've done nothing to cause this, and neither can I do anything to stop it. He hath set darkness in my paths. These ways of darkness, the negative in my paths. The inability to do anything about this. This is the work of God. We'll find out all these things that are in the earth. This is just the reaction. See, if we do that which is right, we have a reaction. We get a positive reaction. If we do that which is wrong, we get a negative reaction, and that's that darkness. And what decides right and wrong? What's the law of God? It always has been. That's what decides right and wrong. Nobody has to tell you what the law of God is. The law of God was wrote down a long time ago, and it's in your heart. See, that's what God wrote it down. 9. He has stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. Who? God has. He has stripped me of my glory, or that my glory is that which makes me known. My glory is that which everybody looks and sees. Oh, that's Job. He's the wonderful. He's great. He's the kindest man in the earth, and we'll find out that would have been Job's glory, this which he was known for good of. And he's taken the crown from my head. And that crown from my head is that which goes around. It's like a symbol of continuance around my head, and that continuance would be an understanding that God give. It's gold. It's even the law. It represents the understanding of the law. He would have that continues because God caused it to continue. Man may come to an end, but the law will continue. 10. He hath broken me down on every side, and I am gone, and my hope hath he plucked up like a tree. He hath broken me down on every side, in every way you can imagine. He has broken me down. I am gone. I'm done away with. He's brought me here, and we'll find Job was sitting there waiting to die. He was literally waiting to die. Everything is lost. All of his cattle, his sheep, everything Job had, all of his children, they're all gone. And now Job's covered with boils, sickness, and fears death. 11. He hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he counted me unto him as one of his adversaries. He has also kindled his wrath against me. His wrath, his great anger he has stored up. We'll find out that this literally is not the case. He has counted me unto him as one of his adversaries. God has counted me unto him as one of his adversaries. We'll find out, no, the adversary is the one who come against God, the one who trespassed, the one who violated God's law, God's understanding, God's knowledge. See, this would be to violate that which is naturally moral and correct. And he counts me as one of his adversaries. He counts me as an enemy. He counts me as somebody who's come against him. But we'll find out the adversities of life that's come against Job. God hasn't come against Job. 12. His troops come on together and cast up their way against me and encamp round about my tent. His troops come on together. And these troops are the Gadut. And that God is troop, and Gadut is these troops, these marauders, these ones who God sends to afflict, to come against. And they've cast up their way against me. They have made that way towards against me. They have their eyes on me. They're looking at me. They're coming to destroy me. And they've made their way clear to get to me, and have encamped round about my tent, and they are camped round about me. And they're waiting for me. They're waiting for my slip. They're waiting for my error, and to take me. 13. He hath put my brethren far from me, and mine acquaintance are wholly estranged from me. He hath put my brethren far from me. My brethren, those of the same understanding as me, those who of a like understanding, those who come from my Father. These are my brethren, those who are like unto me. And mine acquaintances, they're wholly estranged from me. He took them away from me. These that I know, these that I've met, these that are I'm acquainted with. 14. My kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. My kinfolk has failed. They've turned their back on me. My familiar friends have forgotten me. My familiar friends are those that I hang around with, those that I familiarize myself with. They have forgotten me. They have left me up for to die. Well, they have turned their back on me as well, and forgot about me, left me to die. 15. They that dwell in my house, and my maids, count me for a stranger. I am become an alien in their sight. They that dwell in my house, even those that abide where I live. My maids. My maids, this would be those feminine servants. They count me for a stranger. They count me as one they don't even know. They can't look upon me and recognize me. I am become an alien in their sight. I become one who is alienated, one who is put out, one they don't know, one who is put away from them. 16. I call unto my servant, and he gives me no answer, though I entreat him with my mouth. I call unto my servant, but he gives me no answer, though I entreat him with my mouth. This one who serves me, this one who does what I ask, this one who I can call on to help me, my servant. See, my servant, and that's me. That's my flesh even. But he gives me no answer. Though I entreat him, though I speak confidently to him with my mouth, that which pours out, I speak good things to him, offering him good things, but he won't help me. 17. My breath is abhorred of my wife, and I am loathsome to the children of my tribe. My breath, the breath is the life within us. That my life is become abhorred by my wife, and I am loathsome to the children of my tribe, those ones who come forth from my family, those which I was born from. And we'll find out this is one of those that were divided of Israel. My breath, though, is abhorred by my wife. My life's hated. My wife, she has come to hate me. And my wife is the reflection of my understandings. She is the one who I took to myself. And this is a situation we'll find out. Job is being brought down to where he's left alone. Everybody thinks Job's sinned. Job's done something greatly wrong, and God's punishing him. But we'll find out it's just not the truth. Even the urchins despise me. If I arise, they speak against me. And these urchins are the little children. The urchins are the children, and these usually of the poor class, of the class of poverty, who's dressed in rags or nearly in rags, as who they were at that time period, and what they are looked down upon. These are the little children who are in the eyes of the wealthy class considered ignorant. 19. All my intimate friends abhor me, and they whom I love are turned against me. All my intimate friends abhor me. All these ones who I love, they are turned against me. Everybody I knew, everybody I know. 20. My bone cleaves to my skin and my flesh. I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. My bone cleaves to my skin and my flesh. This right here is basically what it means is I've been reduced to just nothing. My skin is cleaving to my bone, and you can see it within me. You can see the framework within me. For that's how near unto death I would be. And this is a scary thing here, to be literally walking, living dead. There are many in this situation today that need no more than look in a mirror to see this. 21. Have pity on me. Have pity on me, O you my friends, for the hand of God has touched me. Have pity, Job begs for. Have pity upon me. You don't understand. The work of God has touched me. Job has been reduced. He is telling you don't have no understanding how powerful the hand of God is. If the hand of God touches you, God can change you totally in a moment in your whole life. He can reduce to nothing. But we'll find out God has great abilities. God has great abilities. 22. Why do you persecute me as God? And are you not satisfied with my flesh? Why do you persecute me as God? Why do you come against me like you're God, speaking against me? And that's because they kept persecuting Job. They kept telling him, we know you're a sinner, Job. We know you've done something wrong. Don't you know what God's going to do to the wicked? But we'll find out this was not the case for Job. They weren't satisfied with the flesh. It wasn't enough that Job was punished there in his flesh, but they wanted to tempt Job to say, yes, I have sinned. Here's what I've done. But there was nothing Job had done. 23. Oh, that my words were now written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book. Oh, that my words were now written. If you would write these things down, and they did. They are inscribed in a book, and we have that book right here. But this is that they could last forever, that they could remain, that they would have ability to stay. 24. That with an iron pen and lead they had graven in a rock forever. That with an iron pen, and that is an iron pen would be a chisel, and a lead would be the hammer. They would be graven in a rock forever. That they would be made to last. See, made to stay. These words of understanding, because to remain. That see, Job had done nothing, and these men were persecuting Job just because Job was having some trouble. See, everybody wanted to assume that Job had sinned, but we can't necessarily relate a little trouble or a little adversity of life to sin. 25. But as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he will witness at the last upon the dust. But as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives. I know that God's alive. See, I know, I already have understanding of this, and that he will witness at the last upon the dust. See, because God has judgment, not man. Man's got no part in it. See, what's man's part? To do his work. His work has nothing to do with any other man's soul. There's nothing he could do. Even if you knew a man had sinned, how can you forgive a man of his sin? How can you forgive a man for a trespass that he didn't commit against you? The definition of sin is the law. 26. And when after my skin this is destroyed, then without my flesh shall I see God. And when after my skin, the flesh, that's what he's talking about, is destroyed, when I'm dying, when my skin's gone from me, then shall I see God. My eyes, my understanding will be able to look upon God himself. That's to be able to see God with your eyes, to perceive God, to have understanding. We'll find out that because God has the final word. 27. Whom I, even I, shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, not another's. My reins are consumed within me. Whom I, God, I will see God, even I shall see for myself. See, I shall see for myself God, and mine eyes shall behold, with mine eyes, and not another's. No one will tell me what God is or who God looks like. See, this is an error we all committed at some form of time, trying to relay our understanding of the Creator maybe to another, to make known God and to another, but this is to create an image of God in somebody else's mind, and we aren't allowed to create images of God. See, God makes himself known to all. We have the law. We can say, God give us the law. God give us the understanding. God give us the knowledge. God give us this wisdom. See, and that's all the evidence we have. I can't tell you what God looks like. I can't say here, lo, here. See, because that would be an image I would have created for God. And that's not God. But we'll find out. When the flesh is gone from us, we will behold God. We will see God. And it won't be through another's eyes. My reins are consumed within me. My reins are consumed. They are done away with. There's no more holding back. These things, I'm out of control. My reins, they're gone. There's no way to control the great strength. 28. If you say, how will we persecute him, seeing that the root of the matter is found in me? Now, if you would say, how will we persecute him? How will we come against him? How? Now that these things have been made known, seeing that the root of the matter is found in me. Seeing the root of the matter, this is the foundation, this is the basis, this is where it gets its life, this is where it comes from, this understanding that it feeds upon. It is found in me. That God is something we have to witness for ourselves. God is something we have to understand, we have to grasp, we have to search for God ourselves. No man can find God for you. God calls each man, and each man shall have to journey his own way to find God from his path that he is on. The light we have is the judgment of God. It is before us. It is something we see in the earth, and the great confusion of God that we behold too is a cloud. There's understanding if we will seek it. There's knowledge if you will search for it. 29. Be you afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that you may know there is a judgment. But now be you afraid of the sword. Be scared now there of the sword. The sword is this. The sword is a thing that represents war. It represents a punishment. It represents a judgment. It represents that which is it's coming down in an evil way. See, that's the punishments of the sword. These words, even that divideth, that you may know there's a judgment, and that's what it's for. See, that you can understand there is a judgment in the earth, and it was set there by God. It's an automatic thing. It's an automatic thing. It's kind of like gravity. If you jump, you will come back down. Why? Well, it's gravity. It's called. There's a law of gravity here on this, and these are the confines God made. See, and very similar. We can't see gravity, but nonetheless, it does exist, and there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to move forward to chapter 20. Turn and return.